Now we have a story in play where President Biden is going to issue an executive order trying to stop the chaos at the border. And this could come at any time. We know a little bit about it because there's been some reporting, but not credible reporting. These are anonymous sources and all of that. Now, I have to tell you about it, but I'm not saying it's fact, okay? So Biden is in trouble because he, on the first day of his administration, 37 months ago, knocked out Trump's Remain in Mexico policy, which had stopped the chaos on the southern border. We'll all remember that. Biden comes in, knocks it out, opens the border. More than 11 million foreign nationals come in here, unsupervised, tons and tons of narcotics. Hundreds of thousands of Americans are killed by those drugs. And there's Biden sitting in the White House, doesn't care. Okay? But now he has to care because the polls, his polls, are dismal. And Democrats may lose the presidential election next November. So what is Biden to do? That is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. So according to Politico, not the greatest source, but, you know, it's not terrible. An executive order signed by Joe Biden is forthcoming tonight or tomorrow that will ban migrants from seeking asylum outside of U.S. ports of entry by using a section of the Immigration and Nationality Act. However, Biden is going to couch it because he knows his progressive base wants an open border with, I'm not going to really do this until there's a certain number of migrants come in every day or every week. That's really insulting right there. You're going to do it, do it. Don't give me, I'm letting 5,000 in a day. That's why I wouldn't vote for that immigration bill that passed the Senate. I would never have voted for that because it was a ruse. Okay. Now, Biden has legal precedent to do this, despite what MSNBC says. 1952, the Immigration and Nationality Act states, quote, whenever the president finds the entry of any aliens or any class of aliens into the United States would be detrimental to the interests of the United States, he may, by proclamation, and for such period as he shall deem necessary, suspend the entry of all aliens or any class of aliens as immigrants or non-immigrants, or impose on the entry of aliens any restrictions he may deem to be appropriate. So obviously, that was passed by Congress, signed by President Eisenhower, I believe. I think it was an Eisenhower thing. So he has the authority to do it. But Biden doesn't care about the open border. He doesn't care the human suffering, doesn't care how many problems are caused by the mass migration. He's only doing it because his handlers in the progressive wing of the Democratic Party are saying, you better do it or we might lose. Now, who's going to be fooled by that? Morons. Okay. And there are plenty of morons. Oh, look at Biden's trying to help the problem. Hey, he caused the problem. It's like inflation. Oh, we're bringing inflation. You caused it. It's just so much. All right. Now, September 19th, 2023, almost 6 months ago, here's what I said. Go. President Biden's responsible. Open border. Look at it. Listen to these stats. They're unbelievable. And he does nothing. Biden sits there and does nothing. All right, 2022, Border Patrol stats. 15,000 pounds of fentanyl seized. And you can imagine how much more got in. A record by far, so far this year. So far, the 17,600 pounds of fentanyl. So far, it's only September. What's Biden doing? Nothing. Doesn't care a whit about babies dying or anybody else dying from fentanyl. Doesn't care. And there's no reason why he can't write an executive order, okay, closing that border down right now, suspending all asylum claims for at least 6 months. He can do that right now. Nope, won't do it because he doesn't care. Every word I said was true. And now he has to care because of the polls. So, up until now, Biden has been putting out this preposterous theory that Trump is responsible for the border chaos. Roll it.
Every day between now and November, the American people are going to know that the only reason the border is not secure is Donald Trump and his MAGA Republican friends. It's time for Republicans in the Congress to show a little courage, to show a little spine, to make it clear to the American people that you work for them, not for anyone else.
Now, even morons aren't going to believe that. Okay? So he tried that. Didn't work. Now he's got to do the executive order. React from the media. Now, remember, the media enables Joe Biden. Okay? 90% of the American media is working with the Democratic Party to defeat Donald Trump. So they enable Biden. They don't particularly love Biden. It's not like Barack Obama, where the media was in love with President Obama. They don't love Biden, but they hate Trump so much, anybody is better. Okay, so here's CNN last night. Go.
Number one, they just finished arguing that they needed legislation to do anything. Well, that's obviously not true. And number two, if you could take executive action today, why didn't you do it for the last 3 years? And so I really do think they're sort of scrambling and responding to a massive political problem. But I think they may be creating more by essentially admitting that their argument on the legislation was false and that they've been sitting on their hands or making it worse for the last 3 years.
Now, I use that soundbite because that's actually fair. Now, CNN's got a new boss. I don't expect them to be fair. Okay, but they were there. And when that happens, I'm going to point it out. Of course, MSNBC, which is way to the left of CNN, if that's possible, they had a different take on it. Go.
I think it's important to preface here, this is something that a number of Democrats will hate. Yes. And will speak out against, including key voters in the electorate of the Democratic Party.
So it doesn't matter how many people die from drug overdoses, how many municipalities go bankrupt, how many violent gangs are formed by young men illegally crossing the border. None of that matters to the Democratic Party. They want an open border. You know who started all this? George Soros. He's the one that started it. It took about 10 years, but here we are. And that's a memo. Everything is expensive these days, you know that. The government is printing trillions of dollars and consumer prices higher than ever. If the government continues its printing and spending, the dollar could continue its free fall and lose its coveted role as the world reserve currency. Let's hope that doesn't happen. But there are a few things you can do right now. American Hartford Gold can show you how to protect your money, your retirement, your hard-earned savings against inflation by helping you diversify a portion of your portfolio into physical gold and silver. Start with a short phone call, and they can have physical gold and silver delivered right to your door or put inside your 401k or IRA. So please call or text them right now. Tell them Bill O'Reilly sent you. Call 877-444-GOLD, 877-444-GOLD, or text GOLD to 65532. Again, that's 877-444-GOLD, or text GOLD to 65532. Thank you for watching the No Spin News. To watch the full episode anytime on BillO'Reilly.com, please sign up to become a premium or concierge member. Visit BillO'Reilly.com to sign up and start watching today.